I would like to dedicate this video to all parents who have teenagers who are very angry and they don't know what to do with them, and also to all adults who are angry and they don't know what to do with that anger. Anger is an emotion which is really beneficial for us when we want to create space for us. It's here for us to create space. It's creating space around us. When somebody crosses our limits, our borders, we want to create space around us. We want to inhale and we want to breathe freely. That's why we are getting angry. But sometimes it's getting out of our hand. We get autoimmune conditions, and it is translated that's autoimmune, autoaggressive, which means anger, aggression is used against our body. And also, it can be in life that you can deal with a person who is constantly angry and you don't know what to do with that person.
Anger is not necessarily a bad thing, a bad emotion that we experience, because it is the one which usually allows us to act, to get into action. If we have even lower states of emotions where we are just depressed and lethargic and feeling low, we don't really get into the movement. We don't get into action. And when we are at anger, we are right at that tipping point where we can move to greater states of consciousness, greater states of emotions that actually move us forward in life.
I'm living with my nephew now. He's 14, and I heard him how angry he is talking to his mother, my sister, and he was really raging, and sometimes he is slamming doors, and he's in his age when sometimes he can't handle his emotions. And I understand now, when I lived through the emotions of anger 2 days ago, when I experienced it full on in my body, I know, I understand what that person needs, and that person needs a hug. You just should go to that person and hug that angry person. Just don't hug that person when they have some sharp objects in their hands, But I mean, that person is feeling very hurt on a very, very, very deep level. Teenagers can't express themselves yet. Even as adults, we can't express ourselves. So when a teenager is angry, it's usually hurt beyond that. And that's what I experienced too. I was hurt by my mother, by Raphael, and I got really, really angry. It was taking months and months, and constantly I translated in my brain that they are hurting me. And therefore, I became so angry because I don't know how to satisfy them, how to make everybody happy around me, and how to be performing for other people. And that's what the teenagers are dealing with. This is really crucial for you to remember, that those people are just crying for being heard and crying for a little compassion, and for love.
You're making a really good and important point, because when you're feeling angry, sometimes you're questioning, like, where's all this anger coming from? What is it? What is it? And it doesn't really matter who you're angry at or what situation you're angry at.
Mm-hmm.
There's something beyond that emotion.
Mm-hmm.
There is often this sadness, this hurt, this frustration, this loneliness, and there's something beyond. And if we can look at that, we actually know what this anger is here for.
Yeah, anger is a savior. Anger is very healthy reaction, very healthy response of our organism. When somebody's angry and is just throwing stuff around and so on, it goes out of the body and it's good. But you can also do it more like with the intention and facilitate it. You can also get a boxing bag and say, hey, now I'm angry, I'll do boxing for 10 minutes and I'll focus on my anger and I'll let it out. I already got my boxing bag right there, and I would like to do that because that anger then resides in our body and it can do some unnecessary things there if we don't deal with it, if we don't learn how to deal with it.
So we have this emotional brain, humans, and it always filters all the information we are getting. And when there is some resemblance in a situation in our life or a way a person talks to us, it always scans and sees, is there a resemblance to a past experience that has hurt me a lot? And if there is only the slightest resemblance, that part of the brain will activate and will create this anger response. Adrenaline will rush into the into the arms, into the hands, because it's ready for fight. As civilized humans, we learn to suppress those emotions and just be civilized and normal in social
And
interactions.
calm
And we just swallow it, you know? We can get really good at that, but the adrenaline has still been produced. Those chemicals have still been produced in your body. And if we are not then actually going to fight, those emotions, those chemicals are going to stay in the body. And it's stuck energy. So that needs to move. We need to learn how we can let that move.
And those chemicals attack your intestine. That's why there's so many people with digestive issues, IBS, stomach ulcers, and all these things. They are just sleeping anger within you, or not even sleeping, not even unchecked anger within you. Once I was in that reaction 2 days ago, because I meditate and I am able to observe myself through this metacognition, I knew that I am getting anger response, quite intense, and I screamed at Raphael, hey, I'm getting an amygdala response, because amygdala is responsible for our basic
the emotional brain.
Through me, when I was having that response, I was thinking about my nephew, and I saw how I see him when I am in the same situation, and how much I feel hurt, and how much he could feel hurt by whatever we are doing. We don't know even what we are doing, but I know that he's hurt. His heart is hurt. And I'm not saying, hey, apologize, all the people are angry and then they are hurt and we are all responsible for this. No, I don't. I mean, have a compassion for this. Don't entangle, don't interact with this energy of anger. Once you have somebody, especially a teenager, next to you, and that teenager is getting on that wave of anger and you can't stop it, or you can't stop yourself, just let it all out. Just go and safely just use your boxing bag or something and let it all out. It has to go out of your body, or scream somewhere safe, go in a car and just scream or whatever. But imagine how much hurt is there in that teenager when they don't know how to deal with their emotions, and when there's something happening around them, like people are splitting and there is no partner and he has to deal with all this. So just have a little compassion, and also for yourself. I think that is very important information about this emotion, because we overlook it and then we harm ourselves. We basically hurt ourselves through this.
So it's two things that are really important. It's one, that we are recognizing the emotion behind the anger. The anger itself is not the problem. We're not just angry out of nothing. There's always something behind it. And don't think of it as that person is a problem in my life, or this situation is a problem in my life. It is always something that is within us. This hurt, this sadness, this depression, something within us that needs to be addressed. And the second thing that is really important, when you have been angry and you haven't had the opportunity to let that energy move through your body and out of your body, at least take time for it later. You don't have to bring up that angry emotion, that angry reaction anymore, but just recognize that there is energy in your body that is stored that needs to move. Energy in motion, it has to move.
And it's a very beneficial emotion also, because anger is actually activity, it's life. The life wants to move through you and out of the body, because it would be too much life and too much of, life around somewhere where you don't want to have it, like intestines or your stomach or your lungs or whatever you have problem with. So just you have to make a space for it to leave a little bit. This violent energy has to leave and release. And to be free, you will breathe better and you are going to sleep better. Sometimes when I try to talk to my nephew, because he sometimes loves to talk to me and goes through a lot of intimate things, like, girls and making popcorn and all these important stuff for 14-year-old. I asked him how he's doing, and he said, no, I'm good, everything is good. And I know that there are serious problems. I know that he's being through a lot, and he thinks he's good. That's what I thought also when I was a teenager. I thought it's good because I don't know anything else. for me it's normal. So you try to observe where the child lives, where the teenager lives, or where do you live, and then try to like make sense about it, how it can be composing and puzzling in his head or her head, and why these reactions, right? So when I heard him sometimes to have these raging, angry moments, I understood that he's not good at all, but he doesn't know about it because he thinks it's normal and he doesn't know how to work with this energy. So I'm about to talk to him soon when he will have another episode, because I have to catch him when there will be the episode. Of course, don't talk to that person once there is a full blown emotional reaction. You have to wait until the system calms down so he will be actually responsive to you. And then you can just basically have a conversation and say, hey, this is not good. This might be for you happening because of your circumstances and so on. So I recommend that you work with your teenagers and you work with a teenager within you as well. I do that for me, and I know it's a hard job. As we have an inner child, we have an inner teenager. If you have experienced your teenager or yourself being as a teenager, please share with us, and maybe you can inspire other people watching this video as well, and we will absolutely look forward to read your comments. So don't forget about the comments below.